Hello and welcome to another I Explores. Okay, so today I'm about to start up a new series, Grimsby at War. Now I hope I get all this right, because obviously there's a lot of people out there around here living that remember it, so I hope I get this right, and if I don't, please put it in the comments below. So let's get started. Okay, so this is going to be part one of Grimsby at War. I'm going to cover both as best I can. Like I said at the beginning, if I get this wrong, please let me know, because I know there's a lot of memories out there. So the First World War started on the 28th of July 1914 and ended on the 11th of November 1918, which we now have Remembrance Sunday every November the 11th. We'll have the minute silence. Now it started, the First World War began because the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand by a South Slav nationalist called Giovanni Perini. If I've said that wrong, anyway, I'll put it on the I'll put it over this video, the spellings. But anyway, yeah, that's when that started. So that's when the First World War started. Now there was a street round Grimsby. Many of them, obviously, there's loads of men and what granddads, whoever else went to war. You know what it was like. Mainly young ones, I think, probably under 20 or well under 20. Some of them probably lied about their age too, probably came from here. But there's one street in Grimsby that it's Castle Street, and it had the biggest casualties of all. But I will do that later on in the series. I'll show you that. So let's move on. Okay, so we all know we started the Second World War after Hitler invaded Poland. That was it, and it was declared war on September the 1st, 1939, and obviously lasted till 1945. So went on for quite a long time. But like I say, I will go through a lot of the history of it as much as I can. A lot of places around Grimsby that got bombed and etc. But today I'm going to be covering June 1943. Okay, which is when the butterfly bombs started coming in. Now it's unique to Grimsby is because it was like, let's say, an experiment by the Germans. Now obviously they dropped 3,000 of these around here, and these to hang in the trees. That's why I've come here. I'm actually in the boulevard. Do you imagine one of them in the trees? Now there was different sorts, which I will tell you about in a moment. Okay, so there's 3 different types of these things. Okay, one of them was a 41, exploded on impact, and if you was in 150 meters of it, you'd definitely get some shuttle and get hurt, to maybe death, I'm not sure. The second one was a 67 fuse, which is a short delay, which basically it landed. If you walked up to it, boom, seconds later. Now the worst one was the third one. Now that's what I was on about with the trees for, because they could stay there for ages. They'd have like I don't know what you call it, a trembler switch. If you like touched it, it'd go off. You know, like when you walk past the Century and Asda and the gates open, sort of that sort of thing. It sets it off. So that's what happened. There was many people killed doing that. Obviously children wasn't allowed out, and if you found one, they had to put sandbags around it. Now these things only weighed 1 kilogram, but they did a lot of damage. And what the crafty Germans did, they made a yellow one, which when landed in a wheat field, you know, boom. There's a note on here saying that a farmer and his help, they found one and both got killed. See, these are lethal things, these. You know, they're not something to be messed with. Anyway, as late as the 1990s, I think it was a lady from Immingham found one. I remember seeing that in the paper, actually. She thought it was dead. You know, it was inert. It wasn't going to go boom, but yeah, it was real. It was going to go boom, but the sort of, you know, bomb disposal came in and obviously sorted it out. She was actually giving it to the museum in Immingham, I believe, and I believe it's still in there. I've not been to see it myself, but I wouldn't mind going to have a look for this series. But yeah, that's what happened to that. But like I say, these things was loads of them, and they kept looking for them even after the war. They were still looking. I think they still find them today in some places. But like I say, the search for them carried on until the 19th of July 1943, when obviously they called the search off. But a staggering 114 women, men, children, etc. were killed by these things. So you can see how really bad it was. I mean, you imagine you're walking down here and these trees, your kid sees, oh, what's that? Grabs it and bang. You know, it's an horrible thought, but that's what these things was. We was an actual test bed for these. You know, they never landed them anywhere. They have used them in other countries. It's obviously a cluster bomb, which is obviously banned now by the Geneva Convention, I believe. But that was the first cluster bomb, and we got it in Grimsby. So, you know, it's just amazing, isn't it? I'm just going to turn this camera around. Look at this. Okay, apart from the obviously 3,000 butterfly bombs, there was high explosive ones and 6,000 incendiaries. Now obviously high explosive boom straight away. Incendiaries, obviously fire bombs. A bit like the petrol bombs, you know, but that type of thing, yeah, but it really wrung havoc. The main areas that they used to bomb in Grimsby was obviously the docks, because it was food coming in to feed the nation, wasn't it? Fish and everything else, whatever came through there at the time. But the fishing industry was at its heights. It was the biggest port in the world at this time, you know, the time of the war. But obviously it all carried on, they still kept going out to sea and bringing all this fish in. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Okay, so after air raids, school children used to go out looking for shrapnel. Apparently this is like a big thing, like, I don't know, collecting cards, you know, Pokemon, things like that. So, oh, look what I've got. Used to go to school, it's like a badge of honour or something like that, from what I've read. They used to go find the bomb, you know, obviously shrapnel is off a bomb, and they'd go take them into school. That's what these kids did back then. But yeah, so anyway, back to these butterfly bombs, and the thing is, it was kept secret. So, you know, the government wasn't gonna announce it in all the papers and the press, because they didn't want the Germans to think that they'd won. You know, historically thinking they wanted to say that they'd failed. Okay, so as I'm walking back, I'm going to give you some of the streets that was bombed during the war, and I'm going to go to one as a gap down Cleethorpes Road, which I have studied the photo of, and the gap is still there, and I will show you that, and where the exact building was absolutely destroyed and it's no longer there. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to read some of these streets. Now Cleethorpes Road is where I've just been talking about. You've got Duchess Street, Fidel Street, South Parade School, the Strand Cinema on Park Street, which is now a block of flats. You've got Enidge Road, Eleanor Street, East Marsh Street, Abbey Drive West, Abbey Park Road, Lord Street, Victoria Street, Kent Street, Buzzer Street, Little St Michael Street. Now I don't know where that is. Nelson Street, Oak Street, Lower Spring Street, King Edward Street, Victor Street. Oh, obviously, and the paper mill all behind Corporation Road, it got bombed too. And Dudley Street. There's obviously many more. I mean, the list was tremendous. And I think I mentioned this in another video. We actually captured an ME-109, which is a Messerschmitt, yeah, a German fighter, or Yellow Nose as it was known as then, or Red Nose, whichever it was. Forward firing machine gun straight through the nose. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? So anyway, they had one of them right outside the town hall. It's right next to it's on the corner of Doughty Road there. When you turn into Doughty Road, where that's the school is, well, the school that was built in 1863. So yeah, just there, that's where they had it paraded, and it was on display as part of Buy a Spitfire campaign. That's clever. I mean, they could have took the aluminium and melted it anyway, but yeah, there you go. So it was on the corner, that's what that was for. I only found out that the other day, so let's carry on a bit more. Okay, so we're now coming up to, I'm actually on Strand Street, but the place I'm going to show you is actually overlooking Cleethorpes Road. Now if I turn the camera around, I have seen this on a picture, and as you can see, you can still see the shape of where this house or shop or whatever it was that got bombed. You can still see it in there. Now somebody's put a netting up there. So what I'm going to do is going to cross the road and I'll show you. I'll prop the camera up, but yeah, but this got bombed just here. That's why there's still a gap there. Okay, so I'll put the camera through the fence now. Look, you can see it is an absolute massive gap. Just where the camera's looking, there's a fireplace down there, so I'll try and get that in a minute, but you can see it's totally got flattened. Probably a high explosive bomb more than likely, so okay, let's carry on. Okay, so we'll come to the end of another video, and I'd like to thank all my new subscribers and all the people that are watching my content. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, all you new people that are new to my channel. And I hope you like this one, Grimsby At War Part 1, and I'll see you next time on the next video. Bye for now.